I never thought the person who tried to kill me twice would be the same girl who once shared my childhood dreams. And I never imagined it would all begin with a pair of shoes. What I'm about to tell you happened to me. Aduke, and it's all true. Sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, my heart racing, wondering how someone I called my sister could have wanted me dead. But that's the thing about jealousy. It doesn't just destroy the person it targets, it eats away at the heart that holds it until there's nothing left. This is my story. I was only 5 years old when Folake's family moved into the house across from ours in our small town in Oyo State. I remember peeking through our front door as they unloaded their belongings, spotting a girl my age clutching a worn doll. My mother nudged me forward. "Go say hello," she whispered. She could be a new friend. Little did I know that simple introduction would change my life forever. "Hi, I'm Aduke," I said, my voice so small I wasn't sure she heard me. She looked up, her eyes bright with curiosity. "I'm Folake." That day, we sat on her front steps sharing the mango my mother had given me, my half significantly smaller because I'd secretly taken bites before meeting her. We giggled as the sweet juice ran down our chins. By sunset, we were inseparable. "Will you be my friend tomorrow too?" she asked as my mother called me home. "Every tomorrow," I promised. If only I had known how many tomorrows we would have, and how they would end. Our houses stood so close that we could almost touch hands from our bedroom windows. Those windows became our secret communication system. 3 quick flashes of a torch meant, "Come out and play." 2 slow flashes meant, "My parents are fighting again." A signal, "Fo lake," used more often than I did. Our street became our kingdom. We mapped every corner, named every stray dog, and knew exactly which neighbors would give us sweets if we smiled sweetly enough. "Last one to the big Iroko tree is a rotten egg," Fo Lake would shout, already running ahead. I was faster, but sometimes I'd slow down just to see her victory dance, arms waving wildly above her head, spinning in circles until she got so dizzy she'd collapse onto the dusty ground, laughing. "One day," she told me once as we lay beneath that Iroko tree, "we'll be rich and famous together. Promise we'll never leave each other behind?" "I promise," I said, meaning every word. How easily children make promises they don't understand. That Iroko tree witnessed everything. Our first scraped knees, our secret dreams, our growing pains. The elders said the tree had a spirit that watched over the children who played beneath its branches. One afternoon when we were 9, I climbed higher than ever before, stretching toward a bird's nest at the top. "Be careful," Folake called from below. "Your mother will kill you if you fall." "Then you'll have to tell her a very good lie," I laughed, reaching further. The branch cracked. Time seemed to slow as I fell, the ground rushing up to meet me. I landed with a thud that knocked the air from my lungs. Pain shot through my arm. Folake was at my side instantly, tears streaming down her face. "Don't die, don't die," she kept saying, holding my good hand so tight it almost hurt. I couldn't help but laugh through my tears. "I'm not dying, silly. I think my arm is broken, though." She helped me home, supporting me the whole way. When my mother rushed me to the local clinic, Folake refused to leave my side. That night, she was the first to sign my cast, drawing a little Iroko tree with 2 stick figures beneath it. "See?" she whispered. "That's us. Together forever." As I stared at her drawing, I felt so certain nothing could ever come between us. But that was before the shoe, before the curse, before I learned that sometimes the most dangerous snake isn't the one in the bush, but the one sleeping beside you. Our primary school was a simple building with peeling yellow paint and classrooms that turned into ovens during the hot season. Yet it felt like a palace of possibilities to us. On our first day, our teacher, Mr. Adeyemi, asked me to read aloud to the class. My voice shook as I stood, but I read without a single mistake. When I finished, he clapped his hands. "Very good, Aduke! Class, this is how you should all aim to read." Pride swelled in my chest, until I saw Folake's face. For just a moment, something dark flickered in her eyes. But then she smiled and whispered, "That was amazing." and I forgot what I thought I'd seen. When it was Faux Laquet's turn to solve a math problem on the blackboard, she froze, chalk trembling in her hand. Without thinking, I coughed loudly and held up 3 fingers against my leg where only she could see. Her shoulders relaxed as she wrote 3 as the answer. Mr. Adeyemi nodded approvingly. We help each other, I whispered as she sat down. Always. That night, I taught her how to solve the problem properly so next time she wouldn't need my help. I didn't know I was setting a pattern that would follow us for years. Aduke excelling, Faux Laquet following, and me never noticing the growing shadow between us. Yasidi's food stall sat on the corner near our school, and stopping there for roasted corn became our Friday tradition. We'd count our coins carefully, pooling our money for the biggest pieces. Here come my favorite customers. Yasidi would laugh, her round face shining with sweat from the roasting fire, fighting over corn like little politicians fighting over the national budget. I still chuckle, remembering how seriously we took our corn negotiations. Faux Laquet always accused me of taking the bigger piece, while I insisted they were exactly equal. To settle it, we developed an elaborate system. One person would divide, the other would choose first. Divide it fairly, Faux Laquet would warn, eyes narrowed in mock suspicion. Or I'll tell everyone about that time you wet your bed during our sleepover. That was because you put my hand in warm water while I was sleeping, I'd retort, carefully breaking the corn as precisely as I could. Simple joys, simple problems. If only they had stayed that way. As we grew older, I began to notice small changes in Faux Laquet. When I won first prize in the school writing competition, she congratulated me with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. When boys started to notice me before her, she would find subtle ways to point out my flaws. Your nose is nice, but it's a bit too wide, she might say casually. Or, that dress would look better if you had less baby fat. Each comment was small enough that I could brush it off as honesty between friends. But together, they planted tiny seeds of doubt about myself. One day, we heard about entrance exams for Queens College, one of the best secondary schools in the country. My parents couldn't afford the fees, but there were scholarships for top students. Faux Laquet and I promised to study together. We'll both get in, she said confidently, and we'll be roommates. But as the exam date grew closer, I noticed Faux Laquet studying alone more often. When I asked to join her, she'd say she was too tired or needed to help her mother. Strange, since I could see her light on late into the night from my window. The morning of the exam came. As we walked to the test center, Faux Laquet seemed quiet. Are you nervous? I asked. No, she replied, not meeting my eyes. Just focused. When we received our test papers, I was shocked. The questions were nothing like what we had studied. But somehow, they looked familiar to me, similar to problems I had seen in my father's old textbooks that I sometimes read for fun. I glanced at Faux Laquet and saw panic in her eyes. She hadn't expected these questions either. As we worked through the exam, I felt confident about my answers, but I could see Faux Laquet struggling. 2 weeks later, letters arrived. I had earned a full scholarship. Faux Laquet had not passed. That night, a rock smashed through my bedroom window, scattering glass across my floor. When I looked outside, I saw no one. But the next day, Faux Laquet acted as if nothing had happened, congratulating me on my scholarship with a tight smile. I guess we won't be roommates after all, she said, her voice flat. I'll write to you every week, I promised. And I'll come home on holidays. She nodded, but something had changed between us. I just didn't understand what it was yet. That night, my mother found me crying in my room. What troubles you, Aduke? She asked, sitting beside me on the bed. I'm happy about the scholarship, but sad about leaving Faux Laquet, I explained. And someone threw a rock through my window last night. My mother's face grew serious. Sometimes success brings both joy and danger, she said. Not everyone will be happy when you rise. But Faux Laquet is happy for me, I insisted. She's my best friend. My mother smoothed my hair with a gentle hand. Just remember, oh Mo, the same mouth that blows hot can also blow cold. Keep your eyes open, even among friends. I didn't understand her warning then, but I would remember her words many years later. when the same friend who called me sister placed deadly shoes in my hands and smiled as I put them on.
If you're eager to see how this story unfolds, please subscribe and let us know in the comments below. Type continue. If you want to see episode 2, your feedback will help shape future videos on this channel.